أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على رسول الكريم وعلى آله وأصحابه من سن بسنة الدين أما بعد رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي اللهم أرنا الحق حقا وارزقنا اتباعه وأرنا الباطل باطلا واجتنابه اللهم إنا نسألك خير ما سألك عبدك ورسولك نبيك محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم اللهم إنا نعوذ بك من شر ما استعاذ بك عبدك ورسولك نبيك محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم. My dear brothers and sisters in Islam, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu, and welcome to our program, Friday Night Family Halaqa. As we used to do this in the Masjid before COVID-19, every Friday night we used to gather together at the Masjid and have the Halaqa together. So inshallah, we will be continuing in the same way, but now virtually every Friday night. Every Friday night, 8:30 to 9:30, we'll be here on YouTube channel and on Facebook. And if you want to participate in this program, you can click on the StreamYard link that we sent in the WhatsApp group. So this way you can join us in person live and also ask questions. Our topic today is the Islamic modes of financing, or the Islamic financing system or economy, or whatever you want to call it. Because in today's world as Muslims, one of the biggest challenges that we are facing is a riba-based economy and a riba-based society. And as you know, riba is interest or usury, which is an addition on top of something. So therefore, we decided tonight, inshallah, to discuss this issue, especially this issue is pertinent to us, the American Muslims living here in America, because we face this challenge day in and day out, every day, in terms of buying a house, buying a car, and being able to interact with people on different things. Before we actually go into the details of the Islamic financing system or Islamic economic system, I would like to share the ayah from Surah Baqarah, where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives us the foundation for an Islamic financing system or for an Islamic economic system. You see, brothers and sisters, the dunya, the world economic system, is based on exploitation and taking advantage of others, in the sense that when do you need money? When you don't have money. I mean, if somebody has money, why would they take a loan? So if you can buy a house on cash, you can buy a car on cash, why on earth would you want to go and then ask for a loan and then make monthly payments and all that? So the first concept that needs to be understood in Islamic economic system is that debt or qard or loan is a la'na, is a kind of a curse. And that is why there are numerous ahadith of Rasulullah where he spoke about people who are maqrood, who are in debt or burdened under a debt. In fact, debt itself is considered in a way that is not appreciated, not accepted in Islam. I mean, only in dire necessity that you have to, then you take a loan and be in debt. There is also the concept where anybody with janazah would come. The first thing before praying the janazah, Rasulullah would ask is there any qard, is there any loan on this person? And if there is, then that loan needs to be paid back before the janazah can be prayed. This is an amazing concept. Rasulullah emphasizing and telling the importance that, look, consider loans as something that is huge, humongous. So the system of the world is based on such a way that if you can't afford this, if you can't purchase this, then it's no problem. You can purchase it on loan, on a deferred payment, and in that context, somebody is going to make money off of you. Because you cannot buy it cash, and like they say in the world economy, cash is king, that is why they call it cash is king. Because it makes you debt-free, loan-free. And then the concept is that that money is invested in such a way that people make money off of money. The concept of riba, literally speaking, in the Quran given to us is that making money off of money. Money itself is not a commodity. Money itself is not an asset, it's not an entity which you can sell for profit. What I mean by that, if I give you a dollar bill, and I can't ask you to give me $5, or I cannot sell you a dollar bill for $5. For example, you come up to me and say, do you have a dollar bill? Yes, I do. And can you give it to me? And I'll say, well, yeah, I'll give you this dollar bill if you give me $5. So I'm basically making money off of your need. I mean, you have that, you want that $1 bill, and you get that $1 bill, but you're paying me $4 extra. And that is why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has vehemently opposed riba, or making money off of money, in the sense in the Quran, because it is exploitation, it marginalizes a certain group of people in society, and then it also oppresses certain people because of that. Because see, if you are in debt, if you are under a loan, then you will not open your voice for truth or for haqq even, because your debtor will force you to close your mouth and not open in front of them. Anyway, let's move on to the ayah. In Surah Baqarah, Surah number 2, verse 275, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala explains to us this whole concept very beautifully. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us, الَّذِينَ يَأْكُلُونَ الرِّبَا لَا يَقُومُونَ إِلَّا كَمَا يَقُومُ الَّذِي يَتَخَبَّطُهُ الشَّيْطَانُ مِنَ الْمَسِّ ذلك بأنهم قالوا إنما البيع مثل الربا وأحل الله البيع وحرم الربا فمن جاءه موعظة من ربه فانتهى فله ما سلف وأمره إلى الله ومن عاد فأولئك أصحاب النار هم فيها خالدون. Translation: those people who consume interest, usury, cannot stand on the day of judgment, except as the one who stands, who is in that condition of us being beaten up by Satan. الَّذِينَ يَأْكُلُونَ, Allah is saying the one who eat. It does not mean literally you're eating money or eating gold or jewelry or some kind of wealth, but consuming. Eating here is in the context that you are consuming, you are absorbing, you are digesting. And it applies to a lot of things, because money has no intrinsic value itself. Money cannot be sold as a commodity. But money is a medium of exchange. You use money as a unit to purchase commodities, whether you want to purchase rice or flour or lentils or fruits or vegetables, whatever you purchase, you have a medium of exchange. And that medium of exchange is the currency, the money. Now, we don't want to go into the details of how the fiat currency that is currently there, how it started and what happened. That's a whole discussion itself. We want to restrict our discussion to the issue of Islamic mode of financing. But before we can get to Islamic mode of financing, we need to understand this ayah in Surah Baqarah that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying that those people who consume riba, الَّذِينَ يَأْكُلُونَ الرِّبَا لَا يَقُومُونَ. يَقُومُ قَامَ يَقُومُ means to stand. So that person who eats or consumes riba in their life, in dunya, they are that kind of person who on the day of judgment will be very fragile, very frail. Because you know how somebody beats you up, beats you with a baseball bat or a cricket bat, or beats you with a stick, or beats you with shoes and things, and you are bruised, you're fatigued, you're bleeding, you're literally broken, your bones are cracking, your muscles are aching, you can't, somebody tells you stand up, you can't stand. Even if you want to get up and stand, you can't, because you just got beaten up by somebody, in a fight. And that's exactly the visualization that Allah is giving in this ayah, that the one who eats riba, the one who consumes interest and usury, is like the person who has gotten beaten up, has really taken a strong beating from who? From shaitan, Iblis, lanatullah. يَتَخَبَّطُهُ الشَّيْطَانُ مِنَ الْمَسِّ. The shaitan has beaten that person to such an extent that the person is like dazed off, is like lost their senses. They have like concussion, you know, they are phasing in and out. They don't realize where they are. They don't realize what's going on. And that is why in this ayah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is very clearly warning the person, wa alaikum assalam to barakatuh, sister. And that is why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in this ayah is very clearly giving the depiction of a beating strategy in order to deter the person from taking interest or giving interest or interacting in interest. That's the first part of the ayah. Next part of the ayah is where Allah talks about the Islamic mode of financing. So Allah says, ذَلِكَ بِأَنَّهُمْ قَالُوا, that is because, meaning ذَلِكَ here is referring to the riba. The people who take riba, Allah is saying that they gave the excuse. The people who take riba, interest usually, back then, 1400 years ago, they gave the excuse that, hey, guys, what you making a big fuss about? You know, riba is just like trade, you know, merchandising, trading. And that's what Allah says, ذَلِكَ بِأَنَّهُمْ قَالُوا إِنَّمَا الْبَيْعُ مِثْلُ الرِّبَى. Bay means trade, means tijara. Or bay literally means sale. You sell something, you earn a profit. You earn ribah or profit. So when you sell something, you a commodity, not sell money, but sell a commodity. Like I gave the example earlier. If I sell you a dollar bill for $4 or $5, you're going to say, get out of here. Are you crazy? I can get a dollar bill from the bank or from anybody. You know, if you have 4 quarters and you say, can you give me a dollar bill? And I tell you, well, I'll give you the dollar bill, but not for the 4 quarters. I'll give you the dollar bill for a $5 bill. Nobody's going to take that. And that's exactly what's happening. People are making money off of money. And now with this whole derivatives concept, you know, in the finance world, that they make money out of derivatives in, you know, different markets, mutual markets and bond markets and whatnot. And then subprime lending and all that. You know, all this fiasco that is there in the current capitalistic economy world is because of this thing, this ayah that Allah is telling us, that they said, قَالُوا إِنَّمَا الْبَيْعُ, they said, verily trade or selling or purchasing, sale and purchase, مِثْلُ الرِّبَى, it's just like riba. If we just stop over here at this ayah number 275, which is not complete yet, it is just in the middle. If we just stop here, there are many people today, even Muslims, many Muslims today say that why should I go to Islamic bank? Why should I go to Islamic financial institution? Oh, they are doing the same thing that the conventional bank is doing. You know, whether you hold the air this way or you hold the air this way, either way, it's the same thing. And that's exactly what Allah is saying here. That the people back then, 1400 years ago, they said the same thing. You know, they said that, oh, you know, this is all the same thing. You know, it doesn't make a difference. And Allah is saying, no, it does, it is. Just because the modality of the transaction looks to you that it's very similar, it's not similar. One is a conventional bank that charges you an interest rate, a certain amount. The other is not a conventional. It is, you know, based on asset-based financing. It's based on a commodity, we'll go further into that detail when we come to that topic. But here I just want to mention that the word that Allah is using here against riba is the word bay'. Allah is saying it is halal for you to make a profit. It is halal for you to trade. It is halal for you to sell and purchase. But it is not halal for you to make money off of money. Literally, that is what Allah is saying. You know, you give a certain amount of thing and you say, give me more. And that's what's happening. When you go into conventional financing, you want a loan. What does the bank tell you? The bank says, yeah, we will gladly give you a loan, but we will charge you on top of this money. Whatever money they're giving you, $10,000, $20,000, $100,000, $1 million, whatever they're giving you, they're making money off of you. And they're charging you 10%, 20%, 50%, whatever amount they want to charge, they can charge, even if it's 2% or 3%, whatever amount. But they are charging you. They're saying, here's the loan, here's the money up front, go buy the house, but now you pay me back over a certain amount of years with this much interest, and I'm going to make money off of money. So that's a very, you know, win-win situation for the lender, because the lender says, hey, I don't have to do any work. I can literally put my hand in hand, relax, and just, if I have a lot of cash, all I got to do is just keep lending money to people, and I don't have to do any work, any mashaqqa, as we say in Arabic, effort. I can just sit right there, relax, keep giving my cash out. Here you go, here you go, here you go. You guys just keep giving me every month the monthly payments. So I'm not working, but all these monthly payments from my cash that is being made is feeding into it. You see the point of riba? Riba basically makes you a lazy bum. It makes you stop working. If you have $1 million, you don't need to work. You don't need to do any business, anything. $1 million, all you got to do is just lend money out and make money off of that. 10%, 8%, 20%, whatever you want to charge, you charge. You can give that $1 million to 10 different people, 100,000 each, and they're just paying you every month. So imagine how much money you're getting every month. And that is why Allah has very, very strictly opposed riba. Think about this, brothers and sisters. A very common question. Why is Allah against something? Think about it. Take 10 seconds. Think about it. Why is Allah against pork? Why is Allah against gambling? Why is Allah against zina, adultery, fornication? Why is Allah against alcohol, khamr, drinking? Think about it. Everything that Allah forbade for us. Why? What's the underlying concept, the wisdom, hikmah behind it? Does Allah hate us? Is that why He's making this thing forbidden for us? Or does Allah love us and He wants to protect us? Because He loves us, He wants to protect us from the harms of the things that are forbidden. For example, pork. We as Muslims now in this world know very well, from the doctors and the medical scientists and all that, how dangerous pork meat is for the human body, human consumption. Alhamdulillah, thanks to the Muslims all around the world, they don't eat pork. But look at the people who are eating pork. What's happening of them? And the sicknesses and the disease and all that. Alcohol, consumption of alcohol is forbidden. We know the dangers of alcohol now. We know what doctors say, and we know what problems alcohol brings within the body in terms of things. It aggravates sicknesses and illnesses and whatnot. So everything that Allah has forbidden, it has intrinsic dangers and harm embedded in it. And because it's harmful for us, so Allah forbade it. Allah said, stay away from it. Stay away from pork. Stay away from alcohol. Stay away from zina. Zina has a danger also. It destroys the fabric of society. It destroys the family. And it destroys the whole structure of a community and network of human race, because there is no ownership of that relationship. People doing zina are not owning up to their relationship, and hence whatever product comes out of it, they want to kill it also. That is why abortion is on the rise. Two individuals, they just want to have lust and desire and pleasure, but they don't want the outcome of that pleasure, and hence they go for abortion. Similarly, gambling is haram. Why is it gambling haram? Because it is dangerous. It is harmful for the human. People who are engaged in gambling, people who are addicted to gambling, they destroy their families, they destroy their relationships, they destroy their children, spouses, whatnot, everything. They sell off everything they have just to gamble. So gambling, and pork and alcohol and zina, all these things are forbidden. Similarly, interest usually is forbidden also, because it is harmful, it is dangerous, it has a devastating impact on this whole society. It makes, what the main thing riba does? Riba concentrates money to a handful of people. So the people who have money, through riba, they lend money, and through riba, they become rich. The rich become richer, the poor become poorer. And that is one of the reasons Allah has made riba haram in Islam, in Quran. On the opposite, Allah is saying here in this ayah number 275 that we recited, that وَأَحَلَّ اللَّهُ الْبَيْعَ وَحَرَّمَ الرِّبَى. Allah made halal. أَحَلَّ اللَّهُ الْبَيْعَ. Allah has made transaction, trade, merchandising, meaning effort. You want to earn money, don't just sit there and earn money. You want to earn money, do something, do some effort. People who earn money through riba have no effort, have no work, have no input of action, physical action. You go do a job, you get a salary, you get paid for your hours of work, effort you put. You have a business, you have a shop, you have a restaurant, you're putting effort, you're working your hard labor into it, then you earn some money. But riba makes a person lazy and just sit there and do nothing. If a person has $1 million, they can just put it in the bank and earn out of the interest, or they can put it in multiple, in areas and just earn on interest, and they don't have to work. So that is why Allah is saying that He made riba haram and tijara or bay, sale and purchase, selling things and purchasing things, transaction is what Allah is saying it is halal, and haram riba. And that is what Allah says, فَمَنْ جَاءَهُ مَوْعِظَةٌ مِّن رَبِّهِ. So whoever has received an admonition and warning from the Lord, فَانْتَهَا, let them stop it, leave it. When this ayah was revealed, Rasulullah said, from this day, no more riba. The principal amount of the loan that you took from people, return that back. The people, the Arabs, the Quraysh in Mecca, who had taken loans and they were living in a riba-infested economy. Everything that was there 1400 years ago in Mecca is today, now in the world, manifested. In Mecca, 1400 years ago, there was a malaise, a disease, a sickness in the whole society of riba. There was the menace of riba, interest, usury, exploitation of people on loan. The grandfather took a loan and the grandson is still paying off the interest, not the principal amount. Principal is same there. Grandfather, 2 generations back, somebody took a loan, few dinar, few dirham. The son is paying for it. The grandson comes and he is paying to the lender that, oh, my granddad took loan from you. Here's the monthly payment. Here is the interest for that. Did it reduce anything from the principal? No, he took 5,000 dinar. It's still 4,999. That is why riba is haram. It is the exploitation of the poor, the weak, and the meek people. And Allah says, Ahallallahu al-bay. Allah has made the bay halal. So this ayah, this part of the ayah is what is the foundation stone of Islamic mode of financing, or Islamic mode of walaikum assalam, brother. This is what we call the Islamic mode of economy and investment. See, the Islamic mode is based not on making money off of money, but Islamic mode of financing is based on this part of the ayah, which Allah says, Ahallallahu al-bay wa harram al-riba. Allah has made the sale, the transaction, the selling and purchasing of things as halal. Ahallallahu al-bay. So in Islamic mode of financing, you have a commodity, it's an asset-based financing. You can't make money off of money. You have to sell something to earn something. You have to, purchase something in order to have money change hands. And that is why the whole concept of the Islamic economy or Islamic financing system is based on such a way where you are not taking a loan from someone. Yes, you're buying a house. Yes, you're buying a car. Yes, you're buying maybe a factory. You're buying a machine to invest in your factory. Whatever you're doing, everything is based not on the context that, hey, just give me the money and I go buy it. And then that's it. I keep paying you every month until X amount of months and years when it'll be off. Rather, it is based on the concept that, okay, I will purchase it. You also purchase it. And over the passage of time, you take over from that. So what are the Islamic modes of financing? The first thing is, that is, you cannot earn profit on just the capital that you have, which I just said. And then there is a concept of taking risk and liability. You see, what is in a conventional economy, in the capitalistic economy based on riba interest, the bank has no risk. All the bank is doing is giving you money and making money off of it. And if you can't pay it, then the bank possesses the commodity, the car, repossession, car or house or whatever you have, it possesses it, it sells it off, and it sells it off dirt cheap just to make their own prime amount of lending amount of money that they have lended to make off of that. Or if they get extra, whatever they can keep. So the concept is that, in an Islamic mode of financing, you are investing into an asset, into a commodity, and then you are taking the risk for it. So therefore, the Islamic banks are not like the conventional banks. They have a certain amount of risk. And the risk is that if something goes bad, then they will bear the loss for that too. So there are two important principles in Islamic mode of finance. Number one, taking possession, ownership, as we say, muluk or milk. Milk means not the English milk here, but the Arabic, which means you are the owner of that thing. You can't sell something if you don't own it. Simple as that. I can't just come up to you and say, I sold you a car for $5,000 and I took the money. You gotta say, wait a second, it's my car. How the heck did you sell it? And how are you you're stealing my car? I said, no, I just sold it for you. You I'll share some amount with you, but rest I'll keep it. So you can't sell something unless you own something, unless it is under your risk, under your liability. Second thing, you cannot make money off of money. And therefore, when you sell something, you can sell it for a profit. Now, here is where people today in America or in the Western world, many Muslims, they get confused. They say, oh, it's the same thing. It's whether you hold the air like this or you hold the air like that. It's the same thing. Yeah, apparently it looks the same. Apparently on the papers, on the book, it looks the same. Okay, they got it from Freddie Mac, Fannie Mae. They got also Freddie Mac, Fannie Mae. What are they doing? But it's the mode of the transaction which is Sharia compliant. It is how they're doing. The simple example for that is buying meat, chicken, halal meat or halal chicken. You go to any grocery store, conventional grocery store, you go buy the chicken, they're slaughtered in the slaughterhouse. It's the same chicken, but they were slaughtered without pronouncing Allah's name, and they're slaughtered by stunning or by just chopping their head off. So, and then you just buy that and eat that meat. Is that halal meat? Think about it. Whereas on the other side, the person, the halal meat guy, he goes to the slaughterhouse, slaughters the meat, the chicken or the goat, whatever, with Bismillah, Allahu Akbar, drains the blood out, doesn't shock or stun the animal, and then processes the animal and sells you. Now, the halal meat is expensive and more for price always because of that. Now, if you look at it, you say, hey, it's the same thing. Why should I pay extra for halal meat? This is cheaper. I should get that. Yeah, it's cheaper. Or even if it's at par, you say it's better to go there. Why go for that? But you have something called sakina, tam'anina. You have a sukoon that yes, what I'm consuming, this meat that I'm eating, A, Allah's name is pronounced on that. B, the blood was drained and it was slaughtered according to the Islamic way and methodology and principles. That peace of mind is what is making you eat the halal meat. Otherwise, you could be eating the stunned and chopped meat from the regular places. In the same way, when it comes to Islamic mode of financing, yes, some people have told me that, brother, the Islamic mode of financing is a bit more expensive than the conventional Bank of America or TD Bank or Wells Fargo, whatever institution you use to finance your house or car. It looks, it's just more, and it looks the same. It may apparently look the same, but like I said, the ayah that I recite right now, Surah Baqarah, Surah 2, verse 275, Allah is saying, وَأَحَلَّ اللَّهُ الْبَيْعَ وَحَرَّمَ الرِّبَى. Allah made bay' halal and riba haram. So the Islamic mode of financing to purchase a commodity, an asset, yes, it may be a bit more expensive, but it is giving you the peace of mind that Allah is not upset with me. Allah is not angry with me. And that is the most important thing, my dear brother and sister Islam. That every night you go to sleep, you go to bed thinking, I am doing what Allah wants me to do. Now, some people have, reservations and, criticism that it looks the same. I'm better off taking the regular bank mortgage and loan, so I should just follow that. Who knows what happens on the Day of Judgment? At least if I know that I'm on the Day of Judgment, I can tell Allah, oh Allah, I tried my best. I tried my level best not to take riba interest. And I trusted these people and I trusted the scholars who endorsed this institution to provide Islamic mode of financing. Oh Allah, I tried my best. Now, whatever happened after that, that is between them and Allah. You will not be penalized. You will not be asked by Allah that why did you do the Islamic mode of financing? You did it for the sake of who? This Kaaba, this house of Allah, for the ridha of Allah. You feared Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And that is why. Now, what happens in Islamic mode of financing? There are certain that are debt-based financing, or you can say trade-based, bay', as we said in the ayah. Some are equity-based and some are, transactional-based in terms of rental. So we'll go one by one with them very quickly. So we have what we call, first thing is murabaha. Murabaha comes from ribah. Ribah means profit. So murabaha is cost plus profit. You upfront tell the person, this is my cost, this is the profit I'm charging you, so therefore I am selling you this thing. This is the most common modality or mode of financing, murabaha. Where you don't have the money to purchase something, so you tell someone who is your financer, whether it's a bank or it's a person or it's an institution, and you tell them I want to buy this thing and this thing is beyond my range. So they'll say, okay, I will purchase this house on cash, and then I will add so much profit to this. Let's say, just to make it easier things, I purchase something for $10 and then I sell it to you for $15. That $5 is my profit. I'm not charging you interest. I'm not charging you anything. I'm just charging you my profit because you don't have the money, but I buy this product for you. I don't need to use that product. I don't want that product. I'm just doing it for you. But as an investor, I am making money off of that. And therefore, I am declaring to you the cost and the profit both together. So it's known as murabaha. And that's one mode of financing. And the person then pays off in installments to the person that amount that they were charged for the whole thing together. Second thing besides murabaha is what we call musharraka. Musharraka, murabaha, as I said, comes from ribah, which means profit. So profit declared is a perfectly fine mode of financing. Second thing is musharraka, from sharak, ishtirak, which means partnership. Musharraka is where you are also a part owner in that thing. For example, you want to buy a house or a car, you don't have money, but whatever money you have, even if you have $1, let's say something costs $100, you only got $1. Somebody gives you $99. They're not giving you money. They're investing in that commodity with you. So they pay 99, you pay 1, so $100 you purchase both. But the one who's buying it says, I'm not going to use this, the manfa, as we say in Arabic. Manfa means the benefit derived from that commodity. Because you, the person with the $1 investment, you, the person, is benefiting from it. So therefore, you will have to pay a certain amount of that usage fee, which could be in the form of rent, in form of some kind of utility or anything. And then on the second level, you have to buy out the partner. That's why it's called musharraka. I'm only a partner in your commodity just to help you, facilitate you that you can buy that product. But over the 10 years, 20 years, you have to buy out my share. And because you buy out my share, you become the owner of that product. So on day one, you're only $1 worth owner of that product. On day end, day zero, on the last day, you are 100% owner of that product. And that person who invested with you for $99 took their profit over the years and moved out. And you owned it. This is known as musharraka partnership. You invest in something together, but you are the one who wants to use that product. You want to benefit from it. So we did murabaha, we did musharraka. Next is mudaraba. Mudaraba, it comes from darb. It's like literally it means to hit. But here it means work, effort. In mudaraba, one person is a sleeping partner. One person is the investor. So mudaraba is basically where two individuals, or it could be more than two, where certain people have the capital, the investment. They're the investor, the capital. They have the seed money. And they don't want to work. They don't want to do the effort, but they are providing upfront the capital. And if they want, they can be the working partner too. There's no wrong with that. But they can be the sleeping partner and they can give the capital. And they say, look, you don't have any money. So you're putting your effort as the partnership in this. And that's why that person is known as mudarib, the one who gives the effort and work in that thing. And so therefore, this is another mode of financing. You want to do a business, you want to do something, you want to open up a store, a restaurant, something, you have skills, you have a skill set, you have knowledge, you can do things, but you don't have the money. So you go to an investor and say, can you be my partner? Mudarib goes to the Ra'sul Mal, the principal person who has the money, and he says, here, this is $1,000, $5,000, here, go do the business with it, but we're going to share the profit. Why? You might think about it. Wait a second. This guy is doing all the work, but why is this guy sharing the profit? Well, this guy is not doing the work, but they're giving the money for you to be able to work and do it. So therefore, they're both equal in partnership. It could be equal. It could be, it's mutually agreed. It could be 50-50, 60-40, 70-30, whatever they want to agree on. But this is one of the mode of financing. The person is giving capital, cash up front to start the business, and the person who has nothing, no money, no cash, is saying, I can put my skills, my effort, my work, my sweat, my blood into this thing, and we share the profit 50-50, 60-40, what they agree on, which is perfectly fine. The only issue in mudaraba is that if there's a loss, the person who did not invest any money, his loss is that he invested his time, his blood, his sweat, his effort, and he lost that. But the mudarib will be losing, the investor, the capital, with the person with the capital money, he'll be losing all his money. He cannot claim from the mudarib that give me my money back. I gave you money to start this business. That is not right, because they were both partners in this venture going together. So we did murabaha, musharraka, mudaraba. That's the third. The fourth mode of financing is a very common one in the Islamic world. Is called Ijara. Ijara, it comes from Ijar. Ijar means rent, which means that you are giving the benefit of the usage of something to somebody. So if I am renting something from you, then I'm giving you, the rent that I'm giving you is basically a payment for the benefit that I get from what I'm using it. This is a very common mode of financing in the Islamic world in terms of factories, where investment institutions, they purchase these huge machines and factory infrastructure, and they give it to them, and they're using it, and they are renting. It's basically, ijara means like a lease, where you don't take ownership of that product. The ownership remains with the investor, the one who has the money, the capital. They own that product, and you are just using. Kind of like leasing. Now you have car leasing, you have a monthly lease payment. That car, obviously the conventional leasing is a little bit different than Ijara, because in Ijara, the ownership is with the investor, whereas in car leasing, they say, you have the avenue to buy the car out at the end of the lease, or you don't. If you don't, then the car goes back to the dealer. So basically, it's a little bit similar to that in the lease, the car dealer is the owner of the car. You're just paying every month a lease, a rent to use that, $199, $299, whatever. After 3 years, you say, here's the key, here's the car, I don't want to keep it. And they take it. And then they take it back from you. So they already made money off of you from renting it, and now they'll make money by selling it. Or if you want to buy it, then now that is where they put in the interest and say you can buy it. Whereas in Islamic Ijara, you are just renting the thing and returning it, similar to that. Or you have Ijara with iqtina, where you transfer the ownership of the product or the entity to the person who is renting or leasing from it. So the lessor transfers the ownership on the last day or day before last day of once the payments are done to the ownership of the lessee, because they want to buy the thing. It's like rent to buy. This Islamic mode of financing, Ijara bil iqtina, is rent to buy option. You're renting something, you're paying the dividend return for that, but the idea is to ultimately buy it and keep it with you. So that is the next one. The next one besides that is what we call Bayasalam. Bayasalam is another mode of financing, which basically means where you are selling something ahead of time. But you have the dimensions defined, what you want out of it. The cash is being provided up front. It's kind of like you go to a furniture store and you say, I don't like this furniture you have. Can you show me your catalog? They open a catalog and say, oh, I like this one. Oh, sir, but we don't have that. We have to custom make it for you. But we need the money up front. So this sofa, this bed costs $5,000. You pay me $4,000 up front, then I will go to production and produce that sofa, that furniture for you, and the rest $1,000 you can give me at the time of delivery. So this is called Bayasalam. It's another mode of financing in the Islamic world, Islamic economy. So if somebody doesn't have money and they want cash and they're cash strapped, they can do a Bayasalam. They say, okay, can you give me money and I'll produce this thing and then, go back and sell it and make profit off of it. So that person who is giving you the money gets the product and then they sell the product. So let's say they gave you for $5,000, you got it, and now 5,000, you sell that for say 6, 7, 10,000. That is your profit. That guy just made the upfront money with you. That is known as Bayasalam in that context. Another one is Isthasna, which is a bit similar to Bayasalam, where you are giving money upfront to the person. It's a contractual agreement of manufacturing some goods where the money is given as a cash payment advance for future delivery. In both Salam and Isthasna, yes, the concept is that you can't make money of something if it doesn't exist. But these the scholars allow because you have a defined contract and a defined framework of what is being produced, by when it will be produced, who will produce it. So there is a contractual ownership for that thing in the sense that this is my product. I am going to be buying it. I'm just giving money up front so you can produce it. It's kind of like you walk into a store, you like the sofa, you just pay cash, you buy it because it's already produced. But you don't like the color of it, so in order to produce the color that you want, you give money up front, and then they produce it for you, and then you buy it. So these are all the modes of financing that are used in the Islamic economy and Islamic financing system. You have Murabaha, the cost plus profit-based system. You have Musharraka, the partnership-based system. You have Mudaraba, which is also partnership-based, but where one person doesn't have the capital, the other does. Then you have Ijara, or the leasing or renting way of capital investment. And then you have Ijara Isthasna, where the transfer of ownership from the leasing and renting comes to you. 5, and then number 6, you have Salam. Number 7, you have Isthasna. So there are 7 different, there are some more besides that, but for at least for us, for an average lay Muslim to understand in a household, these 7 modes of financing are available, which are all asset-based financing or commodity-based financing in Islam, to avoid the concept of riba. Remember what I said in the beginning. For those of you joined late, you can go back and check again that what we said in the beginning, that Allah said, "Ahallallahu al-bay'a wa harrama riba." The whole ayah for our discussion today is Surah Baqarah, Surah number 2, verse number 275. Make sure we read that again and again so we are aware. Jazakallah khairan. And now, inshallah, if anybody has any questions, you can post your questions in the comments. We have very few minutes, just a few minutes, because we have Isha Salah at 9:30 at the masjid today, so we got to there. If there's no questions, then inshallah we can make dua. Again, remember, every Friday night, next Friday again, we'll be back 8:30 with another topic. These Friday night virtual halaqas are based on current topics that are plaguing the American Muslims and Muslims in general in the world, the current issues, current things that we are facing through. Today we were talking about Islamic mode of financing. Inshallah, next week we'll be talking about the issue of that is disturbing and very, very plaguing Muslims, especially American Muslims, the issue of gender, and we'll go in more detail about Prophet Lut alayhi salam and how Prophet Lut alayhi salam dealt with his people and his society, inshallah. So inshallah we'll make dua and end, so we go for Isha to the masjid. And our brother Abdul Rahim, his nephew, passed away overseas in Morocco, so we'll make dua for him also now, and we'll also make dua in the masjid tonight after Salat al-Isha. اللهم أنت السلام منك السلام تباركت ربنا وتعاليت يا ذا الجلال والإكرام. اللهم تقبل منا إنك أنت السميع العليم وتب علينا مولانا إنك أنت الرحيم. اللهم يا شافي الأمراض يا شافي المشفى اشف مرضانا ومرضى المسلمين. اللهم اشفهم شفاء كاملا لا يغادر سقما رب العالمين. اللهم ارزقهم الصحة والعافية في بدن وجسد رب العالمين. اللهم اغفر للمسلمين والمسلمات المؤمنين والمؤمنات الأحياء منهم والأموات إنك أنت سميع مجيب الدعوات. اللهم اغفر لأخونا الذي توفي اليوم يا رب العالمين. اللهم اغفر له وعافيه واعف عنه وأكرم نزله ووسع مدخله. اللهم ارزقه الجنة الفردوس مع الأبرار. اللهم وسع قبره. اللهم نور قبره يا رب العالمين. اللهم ارزق عائلته صبر جميل عظيم يا رب العالمين. وصلى الله على خلق محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم وعلى آله وصحبه برحمتك الرحيم.